drifting. He fends off Very Elegant and Delisand, and a Dave goes back to back. The Beast of Britain's done it. But nature straightened the TJ, and this is an annihilation. Today we farewell an Australian icon, the greatest of all time. Winks wins a third, Queen Elizabeth.
Hello and welcome to the Good Oil Podcast, Season 1, Episode 4. This is the show for those who fancy a flutter on Friday night Australian racing. I'm your host, Peter Thomas Fornatale, no longer traveling the world, back here in the Brooklyn bunker. Our team is not all together. We do have one remote member. We'll get to him in a minute, but we're going to start off with the birthday girl, not today, but it is this week. She's been doing a great job down at Sam Houston Race Park. She's also been doing a great job giving out winners in Australia on this show. She is Jessica Paquette. Jessica, how are things?
Everything's great. This is really a where in the world is who are the members of our team each week. We're between the three of us. We're in a different location every week. I'm in a hotel in Houston this week. You're home, and Brownie's overseas.
He is back home. We'll get to him in a minute. He is the resident Aussie on this Aussie racing show. Andrew Brown. We'll be throwing things to him in a minute for some of his thoughts. But before we get into the meat of the show, want to remind folks about the $15,000 TwinSpires Sky Racing World Hit and Split promotion. You got to play to win. Your first $10 of win bet on your wagers on Friday night count towards the leaderboard. This is a chance to win extra money. It's proved very popular, and it's easy to see why. It's free money when you get the winners right. Hopefully, we're going to give you a few on these shows. You can play up to 10 races to count on the leaderboard. You see the info up there on your screen. It's the $15,000 TwinSpires Sky Racing World Hit and Split promotion, $2,500 up for grabs this Friday night. And the first race we're going to talk about is the Group 1 Tancred. Jess, since you actually bothered to show up for class today, we're going to start with you this week. Who's your pick in this one?
I really like Spanish Mission, and we'll get more to him later as I loop in our little American connection here, but he's just so game. Last time out, he ran a race. It was one of those races where he really didn't deserve to lose. I thought it was a winning performance. He's really rounded into form too. I think sometimes with these older horses, and he's not young. I know he's a familiar name to some of us. It feels like he's been running forever. They need a couple of races to really regain their conditioning. You know, the older we get, the harder it is to get those glory days back. And I think he's heading there.
Makes absolute sense to me. I look forward to talking about him a little bit later when it comes to our American angle. But right now, let's bring in the remote member of our team via pre-record to get his thoughts. This is Andrew Brown.
It's number 11, Jewess, for me here, PTF. I thought she showed a terrific turn of foot when winning last time out in the Group 1 Australian Cup down in Melbourne, defeating two of her rivals here in Spanish Mission and Think It Over. I see no reason why she can't beat them again. Two starts back, she was super unlucky in the Group 1 Chipping Norton at Randwick behind Very Elegant, and she looked to handle the heavy going that day quite nicely. Hardest to beat is Spanish Mission, and I'm interested in number 7, Shiraz, at big odds. I think Chris Waller is finally working the former European out, but it's the Edward Cummings trained Jewess for me in the Tancred.
You guys going head-to-head, Jess, there in our first race, the Tancred. Let's see what happens as we progress on to the Group 1 Vinery Stakes. Jess, we're going to throw it right back to you for your thoughts.
This is a race that boils down to how good do we think Lighthouse is, who we've gotten to see a couple of times. We've gotten to talk about her a couple of times on this show. I think she's awfully good. And Hinged gave her an awful lot to handle last time out. I think Hinged will win, flat or Lighthouse. I think Lighthouse is going to be a real player later in the season. I also like Fangirl. I thought she had an absolutely terrible trip last time out and really gave a good account of herself despite that.
USA Racing fans will see how great it is this time of year with Australian racing that we're getting to see these top-level horses come back and race several times in the span of a few weeks, something else that makes it a little bit different and a little memorable and fun for those of us participating from right here in the USA. And now it's time to throw it back to our resident Aussie, Andrew Brown. Who did you like in the Vinery Stud Stakes?
Jess and I are aligned here, PTF. I'm also keen on number 2, Hinged. He has that Group 1 win this campaign in the Surround Stakes that was on a heavy track at Randwick. And last time out, he was caught 3 wide the trip, yet still managed to finish off really well for third behind the American horse Lighthouse in the Group 1 Coolmore. First time at the 1.25 miles, but gives every indication he'll get the trip. The wet track is a tick, so is jockey Brenton Avdulla going back on. Can't disregard the undefeated Queenslander Gypsy Goddess, who I have in for second, and the American Pharaoh filly, number 7, Pretty Amazing, can certainly fill the minors, but it's hinged on top for me in the Vinery.
Plenty examples of the intersecting bloodstock between the USA world and the Aussie world. Another fun aspect of looking at this form for we American horse players. Last but not least, we've got the Group 2 Tulloch Stakes. Jessica Paquette, we're throwing it right back to you.
So I'm looking to character here. Ran a good race in the Far Lap Stakes against a good field, including Never Been Kissed, who we'll see in the Vinery Stakes. So it's you look to see how character does. Then maybe you like Never Been Kissed. It may be a big price. Maybe character runs a huge race. I think Sword Point, regardless, seems a little bit vulnerable at a short price. This is one of those horses. I think we can beat him here.
All right, we'll see if Andrew Brown agrees that the favorite might be one to take on in the Tulloch Stakes. Andrew, how did you see this one?
I'm not going to lie here, guys. I found this to be one of the toughest races on the cards. Lots of different form lines and plenty of chances. So I've shopped around for some value and landed on one of the New Zealand horses, number 2, White Noise. His trainer, Murray Baker, has won this race 5 times previously, so he knows what he's doing. White Noise comes out of the Group 1 New Zealand Derby, where he wasn't suited by the stop-start nature of the race. Back to 10 furlongs, and with Jamie Carr up, I think he'll give us a run for our money. Number 6, Zoomin, is back to his own age, and he can make amends for a disappointing run last time out. And number 11, Paternal, for my trifecta.
There you have it from Andrew. There are thoughts for the week, but the show's not over yet. We've got a couple of important more areas to touch on, including our How to Speak Australian and our American angle. But before we get to those, I do want to remind folks one more time about the $2,500 up for grabs via the TwinSpires Sky Racing World Hit and Split promotion. Go to TwinSpires.com, go to the offers page. Make sure you opt in for this one. Your first $10 of win bet per race count towards the leaderboard. You get a chance to play in 10 races on Friday night. Do it, as I like to say, do not miss this opportunity to be handed free money. If you're playing Friday night anyway, make sure you go to TwinSpires.com and opt in to the Hit and Split promotion via the offers tab. Couple more areas of business. Let's go to the American angle. We hinted at this one already, Jessica. Let us know a little bit more about your feelings on Spanish Mission Friday night.
So Spanish Mission is really an international racehorse. He's raced in the U.S. and Australia, in Dubai, at Ascot. His passport is very impressive. He also went through the Keeneland sales as a yearling. So this is a horse that began his career technically in America, went on to all of this international success, and came back to the U.S. in 2019 as a 3-year-old. He won the Jockey Club Derby Invitational at Belmont Park. So really just a globetrotting, really neat horse with a lot of American roots.
I love it. Definitely one of interest for the USA fans, and one we might also be able to bet on Friday night, which I like as well. Last but not least, we're going to bring Brownie back one more time. This is, from what I understand, from what I've seen in the show notes, potentially a memorable How to Speak Australian. Give us the lowdown on this term, Andrew.
So I've got an absolute beauty for you this week, donkey licked. Now let me put that in a sentence for you. White Noise has absolutely donkey licked the opposition in the Tulloch Stakes. It means to win and win convincingly. So I hope all of your selections donkey lick the opposition at Rosehill tonight.
I got to admit, Jessica, I was hoping maybe for a little bit of etymology to go with donkey licked, but I do like it. We might have to start throwing that in on our Sam Houston shows. What do you think?
I think our homework for the week should be to use it in a sentence. Use it in the real world.
We'll have a chance tomorrow on another podcast. That's all the time we have for this show. Remember, TwinSpires.com, offers tab, hit and split promo. Make sure you get involved on that. Other than that, I'll thank you, Jessica Paquette. We'll thank Andrew Brown. We'll thank our friends at Betting on Content and Sky Racing World, and of course, TwinSpires. This is Peter Thomas Fornatale signing off for TwinSpires.com.